7 men were killed within a 12-month period, all found dead in the woods. As the cases began to progress, we'd see the head shot more. The passion of the person who's committing these murders is increasing. The rage. The first murder that we knew about was Richard Mallory.
This is Mr. Mallory.
Found in December of '89.
Mr. Mallory.
His car.
His car.
In every case, the victim's vehicle was found in some other part of the state. Seats were pulled forward. Same description of the projectiles as the other victims. All white, middle-aged men. There were used rubbers and blonde hair found at one of the crime scenes.
Hello. Today we are talking about one of the most infamous women in true crime history, Aileen Wuornos. We watched Aileen, Queen of the Serial Killers on Netflix, and I just want to say first, there were a couple of ways that we heard her name pronounced. I think some people had said Aileen and some said Aileen. So I'm just going to use the Aileen and stick with that. I think that's right. But honestly, like I said, they used both in the documentary. She's often labeled America's first female serial killer, but that doesn't really explain who she was, what she did, or how her story unfolded. She's often reduced to headlines like female serial killer, like I said, or even a monster. But let's slow that story down, and we are going to go over some of the reality that's far more complex.
In this case, it forces you to sit with discomfort, not just about the murders themselves, but about trauma, mental illness, gender, poverty, and how the justice system handles people who don't fit neatly into their perfect little boxes. Aileen Wuornos was executed in Florida in 2002, but decades later, people are still debating on how to actually understand her.
And obviously, we always say this, we're going to say it again. We try to be as factual as we can. And then a disclaimer, this is a true crime episode. So, there's probably going to be some graphic stuff that we talk about.
Most definitely. When you look closely at her life from childhood to execution, it becomes clear that this wasn't a story that began with these murders. It began earlier years with neglect, abuse, and survival at any cost.
Yeah, we'll also talk about how her story has been framed over the years, including insights from this Netflix documentary that we watched. We'll also talk about how her story has been framed over the years, including insights from this Netflix documentary that we watched, which uses recorded interviews to show Aileen's own words near the end of her life.
And again, I want to warn you, this episode includes discussions of sexual assault, violence, and execution. So listener discretion is advised.
All right, let's get into some basics. Aileen Carol Wuornos was born on February 29th, 1956 in Rochester, Michigan. Even her birth story is sort of marked by instability. Her parents, they were teenagers. Her father was actually later convicted of child sexual assault, and he died by suicide in prison. Her mother abandoned Aileen and her brother when Aileen was still just an infant.
That's so sad. They were raised by their grandparents in nearly every credible account. That environment was abusive, and Aileen later described being beaten, locked out of the house, and sadly sexually abused. Some of her claims have been debated, but multiple family members and neighbors confirmed the household was very violent and neglectful.
And by the age of 11, just think about that. When we go through these, oh gosh, 11. I mean, that's a
11, yeah.
baby, right? It's just like, I mean, not a literal baby, but like it's a baby. But by the age of 11, she was reportedly already engaging in sexual acts in exchange for food or cigarettes. And by 13, she was pregnant after being raped by a family friend. And that pregnancy ended in adoption. And shortly after that, she was kicked out of the house.
Yeah, she was a child, homeless, traumatized, and alone. And this is where her story starts to diverge from what society usually offers people in crisis. There was no safety net, no intervention, and she definitely did not have any long-term support.
Nope. And then throughout her teens and 20s, she drifted across the country. She was hitchhiking. She lived in cars. She lived in forests and abandoned buildings. And she survived primarily through sex work and panhandling.
And it's important to say this plainly. Sex work for Aileen was not a choice rooted in opportunity, but it was survival. She had no stable housing, no education, no support system, and untreated mental health issues. If you look at it that way, and her it probably was hard for her to find a just a normal job. So with that opportunity, she took it just to survive.
And that's fairly common with
Mhm.
sex work. And especially when we're talking about people who are abused as they're growing up.
Right.
But she was
It's
arrested.
almost
Oh, go ahead.
it's almost like if you are abused like that as a child, it's all you know.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll get into some of that later. I want to talk a little more in depth about that.
Right.
But she was arrested multiple times for things like theft and disorderly conduct. She had some weapons charges. Her record painted that same picture of instability as with the, being homeless, but also someone constantly reacting to crisis rather than being able to plan and look to the future.
There is also a pattern of violence against her. She reported repeated sexual assaults, beatings, and threats from men she encountered on the road. Whether every claim can be verified or not, the pattern is consistent with what many unhoused women experience.
And then in the late 1980s, Eileen met Tyria Moore at a gay bar that was in Daytona Beach in Florida. Tyria was younger, quieter, and she became sort of like the stable part of that relationship and the most stable relationship that Eileen had had.
And for the first time, Eileen wasn't alone. She formed an intense emotional attachment to Tyra. She provided financial, often through sex work, and saw Tyra as her anchor.
This relationship matters because it directly intersects with these crimes that we're about to get into. Eileen wanted to support them both, and she was growing increasingly paranoid and angry toward men, especially these clients of hers.
Now, here we go. That's bringing up the murder, so we're getting ready to start with the first one.
So between November 1989 and November 1990, so that's about a year, 7 men were killed in Florida. All of them were shot with a 22 caliber handgun, and all had picked Eileen up while she was hitchhiking.
And their bodies were found in remote areas, often stripped of their personal belongings.
And also, in a lot of instances, and I don't know, maybe it was all of them, their cars were found in different places than their belongings. So that was sort of a pattern as well.
Right.
Okay, Eileen claimed every killing that she did was self defense. She said that these men had assaulted or attempted to assault her. The first victim, his name was Richard Mallory. Mallory, I think, actually. So this makes me so mad. Talking about it again, we'll talk about this at the end when we discuss the actual documentary. But Richard Mallory had a documented history of sexual violence. And from what we saw in the documentary, they didn't care.
No, not one bit. Not at all. But as the murders continued, the evidence became harder to reconcile with self defense. Some victims were shot multiple times, some were shot in ways that suggested execution style killings. Their vehicles and belongings were stolen.
And prosecutors argued that Aileen used murder as a means of robbery. So they thought that she was targeting these men who picked her up because they were vulnerable and she wanted their belongings, so she murdered them.
Exactly. And that's where the case becomes morally and emotionally complicated. Because even if some encounters began as consensual transactions, the power imbalance and risk were always there.
Yeah. And then in January 1991, Aileen was arrested at the Last Resort, a biker bar. It was in Florida. And police quickly turned their attention to Tyria, who had agreed to cooperate in exchange for immunity. And I want to say that the whole thing with Tyria, I mean, they found that hair, which is what you heard in that clip.
Hmm.
So it wasn't just her. They had other forensic evidence to go off of as well. These men were all killed and they found the same shells. So there were other things. It wasn't just Tyria, but she was kind of, gosh, I was going to say nail in the coffin, but that seems not the right phrase to use in this instance. But she was
And
like the
yeah.
main the main thing that happened.
And it was just all out of her being scared.
Right.
So, yeah, she just, "Whoop, what do you want me to know?"
Yeah. Well, yeah. And listen, I get her reasoning. She didn't
Hmm.
want to get
Do anything.
arrested too because she
No.
didn't do anything wrong.
No, exactly, that's what I'm saying, but that's what led her. I mean, if I'm assuming she truly loved Eileen, and that's sad. But what Tyra did was she recorded phone calls with Eileen at the direction of investigators, and in those calls, Eileen confessed believing that she was protecting Tyra from going to jail, said that she would drop everything and do it right there just to protect her.
But that tells you that this person that we're talking about who killed 7 men was capable of unconditional love. I mean,
Right.
she said she did it, and in the end, maybe not these phone calls because she didn't know she was being recorded, but in her initial confession, it was all about sparing her girlfriend because she
Yeah.
loved her.
Yeah.
But that betrayal obviously devastated Aileen, and it was what ended up sealing her fate.
Most definitely. And Eileen's trials, they were fast, they were highly publicized, and deeply influenced by how she looked and behaved. She was angry, volatile, and openly hostile in court in on many occasions.
Yeah, and you saw that in the documentary. And there was even a part watching it where I was like, oh my gosh, you can't act like that. You know, you're in front of a jury.
Yeah,
You're trying to prove that you're not
right.
this person, and then you're acting like that. And I'm sure part of that just goes back to mental illness. Part of it goes back
Right.
to reacting to abuse. It's just all of it culminating in court, unfortunately.
Yeah, and then also think about it, this as hot-headed as she did get, and with her mental illness, if she's hearing people up there spout out lies, she's gonna get mad.
Right.
I mean, I just don't feel like she would be the type of person that gets sick and back and not say anything.
Yeah. And she
I don't know.
definitely didn't fit the image of like a sympathetic defendant,
Mm.
especially not a female one. Society definitely has expectations about how women should present themselves, even when they're in court being accused of violent crimes.
Most definitely, and her defense claims were rejected. She was convicted and sentenced to death.
And during her time on death row, her mental health unfortunately appeared to deteriorate, and she would make increasingly paranoid statements. She was claiming that the guards were torturing her. She was saying that the system was conspiring against her, which I don't know. She probably really did feel like the system was conspiring against her. So, that one, that's hard for me. I'm sure she felt so alone. She lost her girlfriend because she was trying to protect her. And like you just said, listen to people in court saying probably lies, but also not saying the full truth. Because how do you, when it's just you and a guy in a car,
Right.
there's no one else that knows the truth.
No.
So I'm sure she did have deteriorating mental health. And
Absolutely, and the lies that I was speaking about, they could have not even been true lies, they could have been lies that she didn't believe herself, but anything like that, you know what I'm saying, could stir her up. I mean, that automatically should tell you that she's not mentally sta or was not mentally stable. This is where the Netflix documentary becomes particularly unsettling. In Queen of the Serial Killer, we hear Elaine in her own words. Now she's sometimes lucid and sometimes she's very clearly unwell and not doing good at all.
yeah, and she eventually waived her appeals and kept saying that she wanted to die. There were quite a few times when they showed her just giving up and saying she was done.
Yeah, on October 9th, 2002, Aileen Wuornos was executed by lethal injection in Florida. She was only 46 years old.
Her final statement was brief. She didn't apologize and she didn't retract anything. And at least from what we saw in the documentary, when she described that night with Richard Mallory, she described it a couple times. It didn't change. So, who am I to say why should she apologize or retract that? She's kept the same story. So I don't know.
Agreed. Agreed. Okay, so now how do we talk about Aileen Wuornos? Do we refer to her as a murderer, as a victim, as someone failed long before she failed others? There's so many. It's just complex. Her whole story is just all awful and sad.
It is complex and it forces us to confront uncomfortable things.
Yeah.
Some of it, how society treats traumatized women, about mental illness within the justice system, about how easily complexity gets lost in headlines. Listen, this story blew up, and you could see that in the documentary.
Mhm. Absolutely. And we're not gonna skip over the fact that 7 men lost their life. That definitely matters. But I also think that the life that Aline lived before this violence ever started happening to her matters as well.
Right. And ignoring either side of that means that we learn nothing about situations like this.
100%. 100%. So let's go ahead and let's talk about the Netflix documentary.
Okay. So I forget the prosecutor's name. It doesn't matter. He was a dick. When they got to the part where the interviewer says to him, "Hey, I found this information very quickly, and it was about Richard Malloy. And guess what? He's a sexual predator. And guess what? He did. And he was in a mental hospital, and they warned, don't let him out because bad things are going to happen." And that
Oh my.
guy literally sat there and said, "I don't care. It doesn't matter. We got
Matter.
what we wanted." If you could have seen my jaw and how far I think it dislocated, it was so far off my face. I was like, first of all, the fact you just said that on camera is so wackadoodle do. But how is that not pertinent information to this case when she is telling you there's no way Aileen Wuornos knew that information about that guy?
No,
There's no way.
no,
So
no.
for her to say that that's what happened and then come to find out this was that guy's past, I like I was so mad for her that that guy reacted the way he did and was like, "Don't care."
Well, it should open your eyes to a whole nother way to look at the case. He's obviously very capable of everything that she said he did to her. Yeah, I just pisses me off. I'm right with you.
Yeah, and the thing is, so they really only talked about that case of the
Mhm.
7. So I'm not sure about the other 6 guys. I don't know if any of them had past criminal records. I don't know. But the fact that they found this guy's past and he just dismissed it. He gave 0 fucks. He was just like, whatever. She got what she deserved. Oh, I was so mad.
It's almost like he labeled her as trash before he even started.
Yeah. Well, even not someone getting arrested for murder, I'm sure that's how a lot of people see sex workers, which is unfortunate.
Yeah,
So I'm sure from the get go, that guy was just already
a
didn't
dick.
care. Yeah.
Yeah,
And was like, don't care about her or her life.
right. Agreed.
And
Yeah,
then it
I agree.
makes me think this whole thing at a couple of points, it made me think of the Menendez episode that we covered and just thinking about the topic of past
Mhm.
abuse and how it affects kids, especially when it goes unaddressed and untreated, and people get angrier as time goes on, and
Yep.
all of it. It's obviously not the same because theirs was the parents, but it is similar.
I mean, let's just be real. Just take all of that out to account the things that happen. How many times can you allow individuals to rape or touch or to do anything like that to your personal body that you say no without eventually snapping? I mean, there's only so much a person can take.
Yeah.
Only so much.
Yeah. And I don't care if you're a sex worker. If you say no,
No,
you say no.
no.
It's
Anybody, I
consensual.
don't care. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter what situation you have yourself in. Nobody deserves to be touched in a way that is deemed inappropriate and they do not want. I don't care. And I'm also going to go ahead and talk about the fact that she had been hitchhiking and was a prostitute for how long? How many years of her life?
A
And didn't
long
start killing
time.
until later. And then the first person that she killed has ties to, oh my goodness, they were convicted of that before. So I guess they can do that. I just, yeah. I told you I wasn't going to do this.
Well, and the people, well, listen, they talked to people who knew her well, even Tyria, but they all said that she was a super caring and loving
Mhm.
person.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that hit me really big was when she said at that point she had the gun and it just all become about trying to make it home safe to Tyra.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't.
Because it was her first girlfriend that gave her the gun, correct? Her first, bless her heart, her first experience with lesbianism. Lesbianism.
She gave her a
Remember when
gun.
she said that? God love her. But that was, I was like, oh, but the way she said it, it just sounded, I don't know, it just sounded so, you could just tell that she had found herself. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying with that first girlfriend?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to be a serial killer sympathizer, but
No.
I also feel like if Richard Mallory did what he deserved what he got. So I'm just going to say it out loud. I don't know.
And I'm also not sitting here saying that they should have just let her out and not convicted her for what she did. She murdered those men, and that, like I said, does matter.
Right.
But I just wish that maybe other people would look at the full story of her upbringing and what led up to this. And as you go ahead and, with all rights, call her guilty, just kind of take a little bit of sympathy and understand while you do so. That's all.
Yeah. I wonder how she would have felt if people had believed her and they had gotten that information about Richard Malloy and they had done that trial again, or like I wonder how that would have changed her behavior or her mind, because I wonder if then she wouldn't have wanted to die. I don't know.
I think that maybe it might have done a little bit of difference, and I think she wouldn't have showed herself in such a crazy light, maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, there's no doubt where she was headed. She was headed to sit in prison, but maybe it could have changed what side of the wall she sat on.
Yeah. I mean, maybe she had just, from a young age, her entire life had so much abuse. Maybe it didn't even have anything to do with the murders. Maybe she was just done, you know?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, person can only take so much. So,
Exactly. That's,
yeah.
I mean, obviously we'll never know. These are just questions that I have running through my brain, but I don't know. I feel like again, I don't want to be a sympathizer, but at the same time, don't rape women.
No. And like y'all are gonna get tired of me and tell me to go on somewhere with my looking at both sides of these individuals, but you've got to. They're still guilty, of course, but you've also got to look at what took them to that part in that time in their life, what caused them to do what they did, because that's important too. It doesn't change the outcome. They're guilty. They deserve what they get. But I don't know. I just think that things from people's past just aren't ever looked at when it comes to, well, why were they like that? Well, how would you have felt growing up like that?
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. That's just my thinking.
Yeah. And I mean, I've heard her called a vigilante before. I don't know if she was or not. I mean, she says all seven of these guys did terrible things. And listen, there were a ton of other guys that
Yeah,
she
how many did she
didn't
have
kill.
transactions with
Right.
in between those?
Exactly. And there was that one guy in the documentary who said he named off all the things. He had a really expensive watch, he had $3,500 cash on him, all this stuff. And she didn't do anything to him. So that leads me to think there was something that happened with those seven guys, and I believe her.
I believe her too. I do.
Yeah.
I always have. That's
Yeah.
one reason why I was like, can we please do this one?
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I mean, she did. She murdered 7 men, but I believe her that she wouldn't have done it if they weren't threatening her, trying to hurt, kill, rape, whatever.
Yeah.
I really don't think she would have. But I guess, we both agreed on the Richard Mallory deal. We both agreed 100%. Do you wanna rate it? Because we have to do ADHD
Oh,
rating,
yeah.
and
So,
then we have to give a rating.
yeah, it was called, let me just say it one more time. It was called Eileen, Queen of the Serial Killers, and it's on Netflix. So, my regular rating is, I feel like it could have had more information. So I'm going to go 7 out of 10. Especially, I wish that they had given more information on the other 6 men.
Mhm.
But it was good. And, I hadn't heard a lot of information on her story for years. So it was a really good refresher. My
Mhm.
ADHD, so true crime to me is really interesting. So it holds my attention more than some other things. So my ADHD rating would probably be an 8. I didn't like dink around on my phone. I was paying attention.
Yeah, I agree with you. The only real problem that I had was just they talked so in depth about everything else, but left the other 6 men out. So I agree with you 100% on that one. And I probably would give it a 7, maybe 7.5 round. I'm always one of them that can't decide. But yeah, 7, 7.5. I agree. There could have been, like I said, you took all that time to add in all this information. You could have thrown that in there too. I would have watched a little bit longer or even a part two, most definitely. So, yeah, that would be my first part on that. I have actually watched this twice. The first time I watched it all the way through for my ADHD meter, I'm going to give it a good solid 8.5. The second time I did fall asleep, but I was struggling with paranormal hungover. So I was definitely hungover. I
There
had a
you go.
hangover, man. But yeah, it was definitely good.
Yeah, I would highly recommend it, especially if you need a refresher or you maybe don't know a lot about this story because it's now over 30 years old.
Hmm.
Yep. But we are almost out of our Zoom time.
Oh
So
no.
I know we only have a minute left. So I guess we will see you back or meet back here in 2 weeks.
And it's going to be a
And
fun one.
yeah, we're gonna chat and
Be fun.
just do a mellow, fun. God, will probably be all over the place, but you know how we do it.
It's gonna be hard to fit in 45 minutes or
I
40,
know.
which is it?
40.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
gonna be
it's
hard.
40. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard.
All right. Oh, and yeah, so Amy's saying I canceled my Zoom Pro plan, so now we're just on our regular plan, which is the free one, and we only get a 40-minute video call. So,
Not fun.
no, that's why some of our episodes have been shorter than they have been before. But
We
yeah,
try to get a lot of information in this short span of time.
yeah. Well, thanks for listening. We
Yeah,
will,
now you understand our madness a
yeah,
little bit more.
correct. All right. Well, thanks, everyone. We will talk to you in 2 weeks.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye.